Do This Podcast is part of the Win, Make, Give podcast network. Join Bob Stewart and Chad Hyams as they chat with Bethany Nelson about her strategies for building a successful real estate business with a small team. Learn how Bethany's database dartboard method, targeted events, and innovative referral systems drive growth and client engagement. Whether you're new to the industry or a seasoned pro, discover how to optimize your network and boost your business efficiency. We hope you enjoy this episode of the Do This Podcast, presented by Brivity.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Chad. I don't know where they're at. I don't know what time it is. I don't know when they're going to watch this, Bethany Nelson. Hi.
Hi.
Good point, Bob.
Welcome. Yeah, welcome. They might be watching us live, at which point, if they're doing it in Seattle, it's good morning.
Yep.
Bethany, I think
in Atlanta, it's good afternoon.
Yeah, Chad's good afternoon. Bethany, you're just past noon. Do me a favor, introduce yourself to our audience. Let them know, where do you do business? Let them know a little bit about Bethany Nelson.
Yeah. Well, I'm Bethany Nelson. I have been licensed in real estate. It'll be 15 years in June, and have a team here in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. Last year, we did about 1.5 and some change in gross commission income, and we have kind of a small, I call it our small and mighty team right now.
I mean, that is mighty. You guys, $1.5 million in commission? Holy smokes. Okay. I bet we can learn something from you then.
Amen.
Let's talk about, so you don't have a large team. You're not Jay White with 30 agents or Veronica Figueroa with 80 or however many she had. Like,
Yeah.
you talk to me a little bit about, and maybe one day you will be, I don't want to, you know, but talk to me about kind of the philosophy right now with the team being.
How big is it?
Yeah, so we have 4 additional agents beyond myself. We have one who she's actually my most veteran agent, but she had a baby and is now loving being a mom, but she still generates business and passes it off to team members. So I'm not really sure what to call her. She's kind of like my legacy agent.
Referral agent.
Yeah. And then we just onboarded a showing partner for myself. So last year, though, our production was 4 agents and myself.
Okay. Can I ask, how big has it been? All right, Bob's thrown out some numbers of some big teams out there. What was the largest it ever was?
We had 10 agents before.
Okay. So now I'm going to put you, what's the difference? Is there a difference between 10 and 4 other agents, or maybe that's 5 because you counted you in both of those? What's the difference of having more? Because so many people will think, oh, the team's got to be massive. Mm-hmm. Versus, because we know your production went up when we cleared out some of the clutter. Mm-hmm. What's the difference, 10 from 5 or however that number works out?
I mean, I think just from a leadership perspective, I feel like it's easier for me to be more hands-on with some of those people and really figure out, you know, as you're looking at your lead funnel, like, where are opportunities, right? So I have one agent where her conversion ratio is so stinking good that it's actually created a problem, because now when she faces rejection, she takes it so personal. And I was like, you just haven't experienced rejection enough is the problem. But she's netting what she wants to make in income. So like, she doesn't really have that the drive to go like talk to people that she doesn't know. So her business is very focused on her database and those people. But by having less people, I feel like I'm able to go deeper with each of them, which has caused their productivity, per agent productivity, to go up. Now, there's a ton of limiting beliefs in there. Like, I don't want people to think that I think that you have to have a small team to be intentional with your people. That's just what happened for us in the last year.
All right.
I think it's great.
So, Bethany, we call this do this, like, just do this.
Yeah.
Can we dive into a couple of the things you guys are maybe doing that's a little bit, you know, I don't want to call it unique, because I think if we looked far enough and wide enough, somebody else probably doing something a little bit similar, or you modeled this from somebody and tweaked it a little bit. But I like darts. I was never good at darts. Chad, were you?
No,
They don't
not
do
if I
darts
could
down
hit
in
the
the
board,
retirement
I was
community?
lucky, Bob.
You could hit the board. All right.
Yeah.
The database dartboard, this idea of like you guys talk to, what is that? What is the database dartboard?
So it actually goes back like 10 years when I was a solo agent, and my coach, who ironically, fast forward, we're back in business, and he's my coach again, Drew Lee. He said, you need to become the Angie's List of your location. He's like, you need to have someone for everyone and be that person, like plumber, electrician. But it got to the point where it actually is beyond just real estate. It's like someone needs, you know, uh, did you know that there is a job out there where people consult you on what color palette you should wear versus not? Did you know that that is a career? Like
I am an autumn.
Yes, there we go. See? So
what? You've hired one of these people, Chad?
No. But I've been to enough stores that have those people that tell me I'm an autumn with the color choices.
Got it.
So I started making this list, and it became very focused on who do I give referrals to and who do I expect to receive referrals from. And I kind of started what I call my VIP list. And I will say it gets top graded every year. And it's looking at who are the people that send my business the most business. And I track it in Brivity. We track each agent's referrals as well in Brivity. So there's tagging depending on what quarter of the year they referred them. And my goal with having 12 VIPs is that's one person to connect with per week, per quarter. So your VIPs, you should be able to see face to face. So that's the center of the dartboard. I went on a little tangent, but center of the dartboard is your VIPs. Like,
well, so each agent on your team has 12 VIPs.
Yes.
You guys, the way it lays out, it's nicely laid out because you want to connect with each one of those 12 VIPs face to face once a quarter.
Correct.
And in order to do that, you basically just have to get to each of them or one of them once a week. And if you do that, there's 12 weeks in a quarter, and then you're back so
you're seeing them 4 times a year plus, because usually they're coming to like big events that we host as well. The purpose of the one-on-ones is truly one-on-one, because when you're one-on-one with someone, you know, if Bob, you and I are grabbing coffee and I say, so Bob, how's life been? How's work? Etc. They're naturally going to ask you the same thing. Like, I don't bring up real estate, they do. And then it's how's real estate? And I can be usually these are the people I can be really transparent, really vulnerable with, and be like, parts of it are great, parts of it are a grind. But if you still know of anyone that needs to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, I want to be your girl. Like, I want to get those referrals from you. And so, creating that ongoing dialogue and relationship.
Question.
Yeah.
How do you, and maybe I missed it, how do you select the VIPs, and how often do you reevaluate? Because otherwise I'd say, you know what, I really like Bob.
Yeah.
So Bob, let's do coffee, and I'm going to once a quarter, I'm going to invite Bob. Yet he's not giving me referrals.
Right.
Was there criteria that I missed in there? And how often do you reevaluate it?
Great questions. So just quick, the question about how often do I evaluate it? It's once a year. It's actually part of business planning.
Good.
The question around how do you pick them? I find that my less experienced agents have a harder time. And here's the script that I have everyone think about. If Bob and I are at coffee and I do not feel comfortable saying to Bob, hey, Bob, real estate's been amazing, but honestly, I'm behind for where I should be this year. And I'm just curious, do you feel confident enough in our relationship that if you hear of anyone wanting to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, you would be willing to immediately tell them they need to call me? If they're not comfortable asking that question, that person's not a VIP. Because then it's just a friend. Then it's someone that you just enjoy seeing at the gym or wherever. Those aren't real VIPs if you're not comfortable being like, hey, and they don't know they're a VIP, by the way. Like, it's not like they're aware that they're being top graded every year. What makes it easier over time is because we do track them. it's a lot easier where we give our agents a list of here's the people that you got a referral from last year, whether it closed or not, just to be clear, because we're trying to train our database to refer us whether it works out or not.
So let's say that I was, I'm Ethan Trowbridge, I'm Katie Centinella, I'm some of these people in our world that are not scared to talk to anybody. They would probably say that line to everybody.
Yeah.
Then the criteria becomes like, who is contributing to my business? Who is actually sending me referrals?
Yep. And then we do host an annual, it's in March, because in Minnesota, March sucks because you're like so over the winter. We host a really fun VIP event, and they get invited to that because they sent us a referral the year prior.
Does that mean everybody who sent you a referral, or just the ones that end up in the 12?
Nope, all of them.
So it's not a VIP event, just so we don't cross terms. It's a referral party that we're thanking everyone who's given us a referral.
Yeah, I mean, I'm careful not to use that lingo just because we're not supposed to.
Of course. I'm just for our audience I want them to differentiate.
Yeah.
I love what you're doing, Bethany. I've been for years, I've been coaching people and leading people to create a VIP list. The difference was I always said you had 30 names maximum, right? Because a lot of people wouldn't have 30. And it was, we called them, because this is what I did when I started my business. We called them on that day every month.
Sure.
So if Bob was number 5 on my list on the 5th of every month, I was calling Bob just to check in, not to ask for business because he earned his way onto the list. I love the different take on it where it's 12 people, which is probably more where people really are with that. Yet it's an in-person one-on-one opportunity every quarter. So you're seeing them, not just purposefully calling them. I love that take.
Yeah, it's going deeper because then, so the next ring out on our dartboard, if we're going back to the dartboard analogy, that's our databank A. To qualify to be in databank A, they have to have a name, phone number, email, mailing address. They have to be able to receive every piece of contact, like every piece of mail, phone call, email, all of that to be a databank A. And then what we're doing now, and this is something we actually just implemented this year, is as a leader, I'm always trying to keep my expenses in check. And so for me, I have now communicated to the team that through Brivity, I can see who they are calling and who they are not calling. So if they aren't calling someone in that quarter, like databank A, we should at least be talking to every quarter, in my opinion, if not more. If they're not calling them in that quarter, then that person is removed from the mailing list. Because I think that's where you go from being a lead generator to a lead receiver is people get lazy and they're like, I'm going to let email, social media, and physical mail do the heavy lifting for me, and I'm not going to make the dial. But we all know that the dials are what actually convert. So that's that next circle out is databank A.
Okay, so let's go back on that. So you and I'm making an assumption here, so please, like, really quickly correct me if I'm wrong. You support your agents and their efforts to do direct mail with a defined segment of their database.
Correct.
You pay for that.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, depending on their productivity level, so we are a part of Place, and within Place, the agents have different levels, right, based on their productivity. We have the same thing. So depending on what level they're at, it's how much mail they have the option to send. So I've got a couple of them that are partners. Well, at partner level, they're doing over 25 transactions plus a year. They can have a list of 200 pieces of mail to send if they want to.
So that would be their databank A. That's everybody that they've got, obviously, a physical address because we couldn't send a mail if we didn't. We've got their email, we've got their phone, and we are actively calling them once a quarter. And so I assume you guys go into Brivity. Do you have these tagged? Like, is somebody tagged databank A or something like that? Or so you're pulling up everybody in there tagged databank A, but you're only sending mail to ones that have had a call logged on them in the last 90 days.
Correct.
I love that. Before we get to databank B, which I assume we're always kind of trying to move up to databank A, and then
correct,
we're trying to, some of those people in databank A are going to become some of my top 12 VIPs. Yep. And I realized, Bethany, somebody that just joined your team Cavin's jumping in the middle of our webinar. Sorry about that, Cavin. You might want to hop out of here. Databank, that threw me off.
I want to know the criteria to what gets them into Databank A. While Bob's you remember? Okay.
We got the criteria for Databank A. It's full contact info, and they're being called once a quarter.
Okay.
A brand new agent that joins you, let's say they don't have previous real estate experience, but they're from around there. They've got people they know. What's the expectation then of what those 12 VIPs would bring to an agent's business in a year? Like, is there an expectation getting started? Like, we know if you do this and you treat them right and we mail them and we do the things, they're going to, each of them will refer one deal this year. And I know I got like a 12 deal kind of foundation for the business.
Yeah.
And then one other question. What does it look like when you're 15 years into the business, and what do you expect out of your 12 VIPs each year?
Yeah. So for a newer agent, here's the thing. One of the biggest things that people struggle with when they're brand new is the confidence, where they're like, well, yeah, but my family and friends know that I'm brand new. Well, awesome. I want you to leverage our success as a team and that you're not doing this by yourself. So their script is a tiny bit different.
Okay.
And then beyond that, it really depends on the agent. I mean, I have one gal, her biggest lead source right now is her gym. And she goes to these dance classes like every day. And they have this little community. And that's where she gets a ton of referrals and business, is through those people. Then I've got other people where, I mean, I have VIPs that send me at least one referral a quarter, if not more.
Okay.
And that's just because you've had more time to strengthen those relationships than the newer agents in your world.
Correct. And I think too, it's just time on task over time, right? People give up right before things are about to happen.
Right.
I also think people want to refer you, but they don't know how. And so I often will tell people in that same script I mentioned earlier, the best way to connect me is just through a group text message, right? Because the worst thing that you hear from people is, oh, my aunt is thinking about moving and I told her to give you a call. And it's like, great. What's your aunt's phone number? Why don't I call her? Where I'll actually just say to them like, hey, appreciate that you thought of me. Sometimes it's uncomfortable for people to reach out and they don't know where to start. Would you be comfortable just group texting us? Because then they know that we're connected and we're friends, and it might be less awkward for them, right? It's the same reason I don't carry business cards, because there is a local restaurant that's about three minutes less than actually from our office. And it's between our office and my home. And I will sometimes go up there and just work at the bar and get dinner by myself and whatever. Well, people are always like, oh my gosh, you're working at a bar? And it's like, well, I'm in real estate and real estate never sleeps is my script. And then they're like, everyone wants to talk about real estate. So then usually something happens where we start talking about real estate. If people then say, hey, I actually have been thinking about whatever, can I get your card? You know what? I'm sorry, I'm out of them. Why don't I get your number and I'll text you? I never carry cards. Like, I don't understand why we're giving people a business card. They put it in their back pocket.
And then hoping they text us.
Well, it goes through the washing machine and then they can't read it, right? It's like, so what's crazy about it is if you go into our Brivity, you will find multiple pieces of business closed. And we had to create a source called Boulevard, which is the restaurant's name, because we get so many deals out of that place.
That alone, folks, even if you don't take on the dartboard, which Bob and I couldn't hit if we threw darts at it, so we'd be hitting like Databank C and D people because we'd be all over and missing the edge of the board. That alone, you've all worked at a Starbucks or a Panera Bread or a restaurant, yet going in that dinner hour and being somewhere obvious, not a Starbucks. Everyone assumes you're working at Starbucks. Going somewhere like a bar that you have good relationships with but that they don't care. What an opportunity to be putting yourself out there for lead gen when you're too scared to go out there and actually do lead gen. Just put yourself in the way of people tripping over you.
I had a bartender from there one night. I was sitting in an open house on a Friday, and the bartender called me. And I was like, I look at my phone, I see it's him, and I'm like, why is Mitchell calling me? Like, this is peak time for him to be busy, right? And I answer, and he goes, hey, Bethany, I've got this woman named Patty at the bar. Her daughter, Haley, needs to buy a house. And no joke, this is the phone call. I tee this up for one of my agents who goes and shows the house. We sell her daughter Haley a house, and then Patty was so moved, she decided she wanted to be a homeowner too. So then my team member sold Patty a house. So 2 transactions from the one bartender.
Why would I'm not, how come I've never considered like all the town bartenders like a really good referral source? Those guys and gals know everybody's business. Oh my goodness.
And if they won't give you their phone number, the other thing I'll do is I connect with a ton of people on Facebook and Instagram. That's the other thing. Like if you can tell they're uncomfortable and they don't want to give you their phone number, I'm like, oh, well, are you on social media? Let's connect that way.
Yeah, everybody will be happy to connect that way. Let me ask you a question, Bethany. I know we've got ring B and C and all that stuff still to possibly get to yet. I think focusing on that center is more important. Referrals come in. What is your team's policy for thanking the referrer? Do you do anything when the referral comes? Do you do something on a closing? How do you play that to thank those people who are actually giving you the referrals?
So if they make an introduction, they get a $10 Starbucks gift card sent to them with a card that says, thanks a latte. And it's all our branding printed. So they get that immediately because it's that like instant gratification piece.
Good.
Then they get every quarter we do what we call our VIP box. So think of like FabFitFun, if you've seen those, or like these membership bark box for a dog. Yep. Think of that. And so what we do, I've gotten very intentional about like what my vision is, what is most important to me, and what do I want to be known for to like not just my database, but like people. Yeah. And the things are 1, wealth building, 2, supporting other local small businesses, and 3, obviously a little self-promotion. Like I love sharing our brand with people. So in the box, it's got like crinkle paper in it. There's always a Bethany Nelson Group swag item. So we just
like a hat or a shirt or a mug or something.
A Yeti, something. A small business item. So recently we did beef tallow is very good for your skin. And there's
so you go out in your community and you buy product from a local business that you're going to put in your box to send to your people that have referred you that quarter. Okay.
Yep. And then a wealth building book that I have vetted. And they are all in the box with a note that explains that they're a VIP and that we're grateful for the introduction. It mentions the upcoming event that they will be invited to, and then a handwritten card from whoever received the referral. And I write my own cards.
And that's every quarter. So if I referred you something today, I'm going to get the Q2 gift box when it goes out. Yet I'm not getting Q3's gift box if I don't refer you another one.
Correct. I have some people that intentionally want every box.
I bet.
Bob's a collector kind of guy. So he might be that guy who finds referrals just to get the next box.
And Chad, guess what? Everyone is tagged in Brivity. Thank you, Brivity. They're tagged what quarter of what year they got the VIP box. They're also tagged with what wealth building book they've gotten. Because after how long we've done this, I can't. There's
only so many good books.
Yes,
right?
There's only so many that I support. So keeping track of, hey, have they already gotten this book from us or not?
If you wanted to save some money on the next book or on the next one, you could just drop like a little note that says, win, make, give /wealth. And they could go there.
What we've done is
I know you have.
We've printed all the workworks for one.
I love it.
And we do bring people through the Wealth Series twice a year with our database.
We know you do.
That's a whole nother worth bringing you back here and talking about that. Or maybe even having you on Win, Make, Give and talking about that there. We got a couple minutes left. I want to talk about, you do an event every May. Is this right? That targets.
So it's not every May. So another thing that we do, and I'll keep this as short as I can. there was a period of time in the last 15 years that I actually stepped out of production and I took over leading the Keller Williams franchise for 2.5 years.
Okay.
And so during that time, I had a very small team, 2 agents and 1 admin that kept running my database. And I was thinking about, how do I hold them accountable to database stuff when I'm not going to be boots on the ground every day with them? Like, what does this look like? And I was thinking about, as realtors, we really struggle with accountability. Like, we tell our family we're going to be home for dinner and then we don't, right? We tell our coach we're going to do something and then we don't. But the one group of people that we are most accountable to is our clients. If we tell our clients we're going to do something, we freaking do it. So we created a print calendar that has all of our events for the entire year pre-printed. And then back to the whole, like, what's our vision and my mission is to support other local businesses. The photography is not like 1988 State Farm Insurance calendar type photography. It is beautiful Minnesota landscapes. And then we highlight the artist that took the picture. So I go into people's homes. I went into one this morning for a listing appointment. Our calendar's on the wall, right? So last year we went, how do we revamp our events? I felt like some of them were getting a little stale and make them even better. Well, we decided to try a Galentine's event. So that's where you get a group of gals together, in case someone's not familiar with what that means, around Valentine's Day. So we did a Galentine's event and it sold out. Like, we were at capacity for the room. And it was very simple. It was, we hosted food and cocktails. We had free headshots because most of the time moms are behind the camera, not in front of it. We had a permanent jewelry station where they could buy their own permanent jewelry. And then we had a flower bar where they could make a bouquet for themselves to take with them. Well, the event was so popular, I had this aha. I went, wait a minute. 1, a bunch of people asked us if they could bring friends. Why have I never encouraged our database to bring their friends to our events? Like, I've never made that a big thing. So we were going to do this Mother's Day event. And I went, okay, what if we made it broader and we didn't just say moms? Yes, it's the day before Mother's Day, but we say that it's more of a women's event. If you're not a mom, bring a mom is kind of the idea. I'm bringing in a motivational speaker. I'm bringing in a lady that talks to women about how to style their bodies depending on their different body shapes. I'm bringing in the gym.
Are you bringing in someone to tell them what color pattern they're in?
Same company, actually. Yes, we're bringing the flower bar back because that went over so well. And then I got all of these different sponsors that are not our typical, like, lender, title, all those people. I went, what do most women need in their life? They need more freaking leverage. So bringing in a house cleaner, bringing in the gym I go to, and the fact that they do 30-minute intense workouts so that you're in and out quickly. Like, looking at everything of, like, how can we be strategic to help this group of women? And we believe there will be over 200 women in the room.
Can't wait to hear what kind of bar you set up at Father's Day. Bob and I might have to crash that one.
A cigar bar, maybe? I don't know.
What's that? Let me ask you this. So what's the metric? How will you gauge, other than just everybody seemed happy and they all left with flowers and a smile? Like, what's the business win out of that? Like, how do you gauge if an event is a win for your business other than just we left feeling good?
Number 1 is, how much did my database grow? That's the biggest metric I'm looking at for this event, because a lot of people are bringing people. One lesson we learned the hard way with Galentine's is we did not have everyone sign up individually. So I missed out on a couple people's contact info. Not a ton, but enough that it bothered me. So this time it's like, hey, we need everyone to sign up individually so that we can collect those people to get them into our database. And then from there, I'm going to be watching if our referrals go up. We definitely receive more referrals from women than men. I don't know if that's just because of my database or if that's that. I don't know. I'd be curious, but and just see how, if our referrals trend up.
I mean, my guess would be that if you looked across your agents and everybody's 12 VIPs, most of them are probably women.
Yeah.
I mean, that would lead to, right?
In general, it's probably 60-40, if not even closer to 70-30, just making a bold statement on women over men giving the referrals because of the way women's relationships are with each other versus men's relationships. I would think that's just probably across the board.
I could buy that. It's 11 o'clock. It's the top of the hour. Bethany, you have a big business that doesn't have very many people in it to get back to. And I think you might have some planning to do for your big event coming up here soon too. And somebody this week is getting, just first name's fine. Who's your VIP this week that you're meeting with?
I don't have one this week because I'm taking actually the rest of today off and tomorrow off because my bonus daughters are turning 18 today. So we're doing a staycation.
So next week, 2 appointments.
Actually, I front loaded, so I had 2 last week.
Of course she did. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. I love most of our business comes from our past clients in our sphere and referrals from those people. So like creating an actual mechanism to go grind on that is important, I think. And so anybody here, you had some great ideas today. Get out there and just do it like Bethany's doing. Thanks for joining us, Bethany. We should talk about how you deploy the Wealth Series. That would be an awesome
bring her back,
reason to have you back. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Bethany. Have an awesome afternoon. Bye, everybody. Chad. See you next week.